all watched this thing grow over a 17-hour period. Not unlike, you know, people around Trayvon watched him grow for 17 years.
Right.
You may grow fond of somebody after 17 years. You know, you may begin to notice things about him that other people wouldn't if you're closer. I'm not a portrait artist. It's not my forte. And I'm not much of a painter. I like to draw. That's my thing. I like lines. But as I was, and I even told Darius this as I was doing preliminary sketches in my studio, you know, he had a fatty eye. That sounds like a diss. It's not. We're all built differently. He had a fatty eye, almost like his eyes were almost always squinty. It's weird. Like when he smiled, the skin really. That's a very intimate thing to know about somebody.
Right.
Portrait artists get an intimacy with people that other kinds of people may not. So I don't know this boy, but I know how to draw his eye.
Right.
Because I've studied his eye. You get me? And so there's something close about that. You know, I wanted it to be as if we all watched him grow. So starting on Saturday, the private 2 hours of the performance was me staining the canvas, almost to like suggest, you know, embryo and pre-birth and reds, lots and lots of reds and grays, and you know, and then we started the painting. So 17 hours, right? And then the sudden finish, you know, at the 17th hour, it just ends. Not unlike a lot of the boys here, where there's this belief that there should be more. A number of people ask me, where is this gonna be housed? Where is it gonna, you know, what's going on? You know, are we gonna install it somewhere? And inside of me, I was like, this is so funny. Like, you know, it's not really funny, but it's like, no, there's no housing. There's no housing, because if that happened, then we missed the point,
right.
You know?
It's gone.
It's gone. That's the point. That's why he's wearing a crown of cicadas in the image. The idea that this insect that takes all of this time to grow from a nymph into a full creature. It takes 17 years for this insect to grow, you know, in the ground, underground, in trees. And then it mates, comes out, mates, sheds its skin, boom, dead. It just dies. That's the life cycle of the cicada. 17 years. And in that life cycle, Trayvon, or they die. And so in my mind, even as I would step away from the image, I do a lot of back and forth, I'd step away, and as the crown was coming up, I'm like, yep, he is the king of the cicadas. He's the cicada king. He's the king that never was. He's the one. He's the guy who left too soon, you know, and it makes sense that these cicadas are prominent on his head, because that's exactly what he is, you know, this ugly creature that nobody wants to hold. You know, and so that's lovable by only his kind. I had a problem imagining Trayvon Martin as a human and not as a concept. There's this, but even if you liked him, or even if you wanted him to be a human, it's hard to imagine him as not a concept. I treated him as a concept here. This is damn near deification when you do a portrait of this size, right? He's not a human. He's still not a human. I tried to make him a human. I took 17 hours to represent 17 years. I don't know how much more you can do, you know? And he's still a concept
to us. But your conceptualization was, right. It almost has to be a conceptualization, because right. You have to, in order to celebrate. Yeah. He's not here. So right. It's like it's a remembrance. So it becomes and he exists in such a broader scheme.
Yeah.
It's very hard to deconceptualize
That's
a
true.
person like
That's
that.
True.
Don't
That's
beat
true.
yourself up about that.
What I found problematic was when I think about any of these boys, is the fact that you can only remember them, because I didn't know him outside of this. I only know him the way I know him.
Because
Please, if you've received an invitation, please open it now. You have number 2. Could you please join me here and help me?